All right, welcome to Trojan Poetry, episode number 8. We have a very special guest this week. Mr. Bronke is with us. So, I have chosen the poetry again this week, the poem again this week, and here it is. It is called The Self-Unseeing by Thomas Hardy, written in 1902. Here is the ancient floor, foot-worn and hollowed thin. Here was the former door where the dead feet walked in. She sat here in her chair, smiling into the fire. He who played stood there, bowing it higher and higher. Childlike, I danced in a dream. Blessings emblazoned that day. Everything glowed with a gleam, yet we were looking away.
All right.
All right, so we're going to mix things up a little bit this week and have these two respond before I talk about why I chose it. So, having just read it or heard it, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's a cool poem. I think the first thing that caught my attention just was just the title. Whenever I think about poetry, I'm always so intrigued with why poets choose to title it the way they do. So, the self-unseeing, making that the verb with the ing there just seemed different. I expect to see like self-unseen, but making it physically like happening and active to me was really jumped out. And then I really loved the line hollowed and thin. I don't know if those go together in my mind. When I think of something as hollow, I think of it as deep, right? That it gets hollowed out in the inside. So to also be thin, I thought that was just a really cool way to describe a pathway that's been worn down.
Yeah, I thought the same thing you said with the self-unseeing. And I thought it was interesting that it says self-unseeing, but then if you look at the last line, yet we were looking away. So they're looking away from who? Are they looking away from themselves? Are they looking, and they're not looking at themselves, I guess. And then the other question I had is in the second line, or the second stanza, the first line, she sat here in her chair smiling into the fire. Who's the she? And then he who played stood there, bowing it higher and higher. Who are these characters? And, why is this speaker so interested in them, I guess, are my questions. All right, John, enlighten us.
All right, so I originally read it, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I just like the way it rhymes. Right? It's not sing-songy, but it's got the cool kind of rhyme scheme going on. It's kind of got the three parts, obviously, with three stanzas, where you get this idea that he's walking into an empty house, or a house that is in decay somehow, and then you get this happy scene of a family sitting around a fire playing the violin, right? And then you've got the child who's dancing, and it's like, that's great. And then just that killer last line, right? We were looking away. And I was like, somehow that really hit me, right? I was really hit by the poem. And I did a little bit of research, and Thomas Hardy, the guy who wrote it, one of my favorite novelists, that's kind of why I originally went to a poem by him. I was looking for something by him. I found this, and it turns out that, in fact, his father did play the violin, and he's kind of writing about a memory he has about being a child listening to his dad play the violin. But what really got me, or what I began to think about, is, there's this happy family scene in the middle, and even though that happy family scene happens, at the end he says, we were looking away. And this idea that you don't really realize what's going on at the time, right? Like, he says there were blessings, that it was gleaming, it was emblazoned, but they didn't get it somehow. Somehow they were missing that. And I thought of Thanksgiving, right? It's coming up, and the holidays. And my connection was, I thought, okay, like during Thanksgiving and at dinners now, you go out to dinner and everybody's on their phones.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought, wow, this was written in 1902, but he's talking somehow to us about realizing when you're with your family, do you realize just how cool that is, right? And how lucky you are, and what a blessing that is.
Yeah. Even that last line that you're talking about, where it's, we were looking away, that transition word yet, right? Like makes that even that much more like reflective and regretful,
right.
It's nice.
But then I thought, but they seem happy, right? She's smiling.
Yeah.
He's playing the violin, and it's kind of magical because as he plays, the fire gets higher, and the child is dancing like in a dream. So they seem happy, but could they be happier?
Right.
And that that's kind of a weird thing to think about. Like, okay, they're happy, but if they realized they were happy, would they be happier?
Yeah.
Yeah, to reflect. Well, that's where the title, the self-unseeing.
Yeah.
They're not reflecting on the moment. They're not living in the moment, right?
Yeah.
But they
Looking
are
for
living in the moment.
Well, they're looking for something else that they're not having. Would they be happier if they
Well, okay,
thought
so,
about it for a second.
so this is my question, right? What would it mean to be truly present? And would that change your perception? Like, are they supposed to stop looking at the fire and playing the violin and look at each other and go, hey,
Wow, look how happy we are. Yeah, we're so happy.
Yeah,
together.
like yeah.
right? Like that would be awkward. So,
Right.
what can you ever really be present without killing that? Right? I think Hardy's got a little bit more going on than just, hey, think how lucky you are.
Yeah, enjoy what you have, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So that's what we've got.
Yeah.
The question is, what would it mean to be truly present this holiday season? And a little PSA from Thomas Hardy: put your phones down and talk to your family, right?
Social media is only good at some times.
All right.
All right, thanks for watching. Please join the conversation in the comments on YouTube or on Twitter at Trojan Poetry DGN. Also, check out our website at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com.
And thanks to Chris for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.